Welcome to another episode of Mastering Money Mondays, where each and every week we infuse a topic to help us all transition from one into a debtor and or saver into that of a wealth creator. I am Mr. Green, affectionately known as Mr. Flip Your 401k.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cynthia Pete. I am a project manager by day, real estate investor by night or on the weekends. And I am better known as your financial freedom fighter.
That's what's happening. I'm an employed entrepreneur myself. Recently, life insurance agent. So if y'all need some life insurance, holla at your boy. Okay. You know what I mean? And so, hey, look, why do we have this show? Why do we have Mastering Money Mondays? It's simple. Hey, we've been taught how to make money. We've been taught how to manage money, right? Which put your money in a savings account, 401k, right? But we have not been taught how to master money. So as we're learning how to create wealth, we thought to pour the information and knowledge that we are receiving back into you, back into community, so that we can all make this transition along our financial journey. So with that being said, episode 21 is American Dream or American Nightmare, right? Right. It was all a dream, and you know what I mean? And it may be a nightmare for some now. So what are we talking about? We're talking about home buying, becoming a homeowner, right? So I'm going to start us off with the pain point, right? The pain point is the expenses now of home buying. Everything is going up. The cost of the materials, the cost of the home, right? Even the maintenance around the home. All of this is now affecting a decision of whether or not home buying really is the American dream. Cynthia, go ahead and share with us a money tip.
Well, I think you personally have to determine, is it worth it to buy the home, right? And so I remember I had a financial planner, and he really didn't think it was worth it, right? He didn't. He was like, I don't, I know it's the American dream, and you'll hear a lot of wealthy people. Grant Cardone is one who doesn't think buying a house is a good idea. So you definitely have to think if it's worth it, if you have the money. Sometimes when you have a family, it's different. Like you want some stability. So you're not necessarily buying the home as a monetary investment, especially in the short term, right? So you really have to determine if you have the money, first of all, and if it's really worth buying.
Yeah, you said determine if you have the money. Do you think, well, here's what I think. So I'd like to ask you, do you think that when most people just think about the mortgage only when they purchase a home, right?
Absolutely.
Do you think so? Okay, because I think people think, okay, I can afford a home because I can afford their monthly note.
Yes.
But they're not considering the maintenance because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You know what I mean? There's going to be some pipes that burst. Your toilet's going to start acting up. All of these things, right? I don't think people factor that in when they factor in the price and what they can afford with home buying until they get in the home, and then these things start to break or malfunction. Right. And now they're like, oh, this is what home ownership is about. Right. And now the question mark comes, I don't know if I can own this home. But you mentioned Grant Cardone because he talks about how becoming a home owner first is not the way to go. It's not the way to build wealth, right? He talks about purchasing property as investments first, cash flow off of those, and then use the cash flow from those assets to purchase your home at that time, right?
Right. But in general, the wealthy, that's the mindset in general, right? Not just with a house, but you invest first, make money on your investments, and then you let that pay off your lifestyle. Car note, house. That's the part of mastering money. You have to delay the gratification. But again, we were taught get a job, go get a house. So that's part of the mental mindset to change. So he's definitely heading in the right direction.
Yeah, some of y'all are premature on your gratification. Premature on your gratification, okay? And so you want it instantly, you want it now, rather than maybe taking short-term pain for long-term gain.
Yeah.
So, but there are some ways, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, that you may be able to get into purchasing a residence where some of the expenditures or some of the expenses to get into a home, you may be able to avoid, or they may not be evident for you. Yes. Can you talk a little bit about maybe a program or programs that could assist in that regard?
Yes. So I would say this first. Your realtor is extremely important, who your realtor is. Find a realtor that is highly knowledgeable to the area that you want to live in. I was talking to a realtor, and not the realtor I use, and the realtor I use was amazing, was very good, but I was talking to another realtor who all they do is the southern sector. We're in Dallas. And she was like, oh, there was a program where you didn't have to pay you didn't have to pay a down payment. You would just go on the home free. And I was like, really? She was like, yes. And there's another lender who also, she owns her own bank. So her name is Benicia. I think her Instagram is I am Benicia. She owns her own bank. So she has programs for first-time buyers. So really understanding the lender and the realtor, making sure the realtor is educated about the area and the programs. Because we're in the southern part of town, those realtors are probably going to know more about first-time buyer programs, because people on the southern sector tend to need a little help to get in. And when I say southern, brown and black community.
Yeah, let's just keep it 100.
Yeah. The brown and black community, we need a little help, in getting into homes. So research first-time buyer programs. NACA is one that a lot of people know, but there are other programs out there as well.
NACA, and that's NACA?
Yes.
Okay, Nancy, Alpha, Cat, Alpha, okay? So some takeaways, right? One, first of all, evaluate home buying holistically, meaning to not only the mortgage, right, but the property taxes, right? Maintenance, potential maintenance. If you want to keep the upkeep of your home, and more than likely you're going to need to, because most, developments now, most neighborhoods have HOAs. So you're going to want to factor in whether or not you're going to be doing the lawn cutting, the landscaping yourself, or if you're going to be paying that out. Me personally, I pay that out because I have to do stuff like, record podcasts and stuff like that.
And edit.
And edit and produce and come up with the shows. That's another show topic for another day. But so you got to factor in all those things, right, into your budget before you purchase a home. Second, you might want to think about whether or not you want to approach home buying as an investor, or if you want to approach it as the home that you want to live in it, right? So you may find that you want to shift your mindset and get into purchasing a home or houses different than what maybe the American dream sold us during our parents' generation, right? So think about that as well. So with that being said, Cynthia, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on over to you to go ahead and close us on out for this episode.
Sure. And so let me just testify a little bit, because I bought a house at the end of 2022. And everything that we talked about on here happened. So I bought the house, got into the house, bought a fix and flip that was remodeled. And so got into the house, and as soon as I got into the house, I had repair after repair after repair after repair. And so, yes. And then also with the mortgage, and this is my second house. So I don't do anything I don't understand. So I don't understand escrow. Like, I understand it, but I'm like, why does the bank need to pay my property taxes and my hazard insurance? Like, I don't understand that. But that's where a lot of people get caught. Now, I don't do loans like that. I don't do mortgage loans like that. So mine are always separate. So
do you prefer? So you don't do escrow at all?
I do not do escrow.
See that? Okay, we have a difference in philosophy on that.
I do not do.
I don't do escrow right now currently, but yeah, we got to talk about that offline.
Okay, I do not do escrow.
But I didn't mean to cross you. Go ahead.
No. I don't do escrow because I just didn't understand why somebody else needs to pay my bills. It just doesn't. For me, it just didn't logically. I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. And I would hear people saying my mortgage went up $500 because the bank didn't estimate the property taxes well, or the first time you get in the home, either the seller has paid the property taxes for that year up to that point, and you paid the property taxes as well. So what happens is your mortgage is so low that first year because you paid the property taxes at closing. And so the next year it jumps $500 and $600. And I was just like, no. So everything Lonzie is talking about, I have experience, and just thank God I have a well-paying job. Because I'm telling you, I don't know how some of these other people make it. But these are all the things you have to factor in. And I'll just end with one more thing, because my first house was brand new, built. And so I kind of went into this house with that mindset and didn't realize, when you buy a house, that was remodeled, all these things, the person that did it may or may not have done a good job. So sometimes
that's a whole conversation.
That's a whole conversation. Yep. And so I would advise maybe finding your own home inspection company. But also the 5 most expensive things are going to be your roof, your HVAC, your electrical, your plumbing. I'm missing something.
Foundation.
Yep. So sometimes it's better, even when you have that inspection, to pay somebody maybe the plumbing $300 to $500 just to come out and check it, because inspection companies, they're not specialists, and sometimes they can miss those things. And that's what happened with me. Inspection company missed something, and I ended up paying for it.
Hey, what I took out of all of that is, it's a rhetorical question. American dream or American nightmare, but based on that outline Cynthia just shared, I don't know about y'all,
right?
But it definitely sounds like a nightmare, and it's not on Elm Street; it's on Main Street. Okay. So with that being said, thank you all for joining and listening to another episode of Mastering Money Mondays. We appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that we can continue to push out more content for you. And then if you also have any suggestions on what you would like for us to talk about, please make sure you put them in the comments or shoot us a DM. We would love to have a topic of conversation based on what you select, based on your suggestion or recommendation. So with that being said, again, until next week, y'all take care.